Good evening. Good morning. This is Manideepa from Dara Government Degree College, Sangareddy. In this video, we can discuss the another colligative property, that is elevation and boiling point. What is meant by elevation and boiling point, and how can we say that it is a colligative property, and how can we find out it the molecular mass of a solute using elevation and boiling point. How can we find out what is meant by ebullioscopic constant, that and all, which we can discuss it in this video. So third colligative property, that is elevation at boiling point. So total we had 4 colligative properties, that is nothing but the properties of any dilute solution. If it depends on the number of solute particles but not on the nature or composition of the solute, then simply which we can say that is a colligative property. So first 2 colligative properties which we discussed in the previous videos. This is first one is lowering of vapor pressure, and the second one is osmotic pressure, that which we discussed in the previous videos. So in this video we can discuss it, what is meant by elevation and boiling point, and how can we find it, that lowering in boiling point, and how can we determine the molecular mass of a solute using elevation and boiling point, and how can we say that it is a colligative property, that which we can discuss in this video. So what is meant by elevation and boiling point? So elevation and boiling point, how can we calculate it? The elevation and boiling point means, generally boiling point of a substance is defined as the, what is meant by boiling point? So that it's for any substance, boiling point is nothing but it's a temperature at which its vapor pressure becomes equals to the atmospheric pressure. So that is nothing but a boiling point. So boiling point, which is nothing but it's a temperature where vapor pressure, if it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then that is equal to the boiling point. So the temperature at which its vapor pressure, if it becomes equals to atmospheric pressure, then we can say that it is a elevation in boiling point. So simply that is nothing but elevation in boiling point. So boiling point of a solution is always more than that of its pure solvent. So we know that it's a boiling point of a pure solvent, it's always less compared to the boiling point of a solution, because in solution we have to add it a solute, non-volatile solute which is presented. So the boiling point for a pure solvent, it's nothing but it's a temperature where its vapor pressure equal to atmospheric pressure. Only solvent which is in the pure state, so its boiling point is less. When we move for a solution, in that solution along with the solvent, so non-volatile solute is also presented. So that is, so the vapor temperature at which vapor pressure of a solution, if it is equal to atmospheric pressure, then that is nothing but boiling point of a solution. So always boiling point of a solution is more compared to the boiling point of a pure solvent. So that is nothing but pure solvent vapor boiling point is always less compared to the boiling point of a solution. So whatever the difference which we can observe in between the boiling points of a solution to the boiling points of a solvent, that is nothing but a generally elevation in boiling point, that which we can observe it. So whatever the boiling point, difference in the boiling point values of a solution to the pure solvent is nothing but elevation in boiling point. How much it is having that elevation in boiling point, that which we have to see. And how can we calculate that elevation in boiling point, that is also more important. From that only we can say that it is a colligative property. So reasons for elevation in boiling point. What's the reason why it has changes in the boiling point? That is solution boiling point is more compared to the pure solvent. What's the reason? That which we have to see. The vapor pressure of a solution is less than that of a pure solvent at each temperature. So the vapor pressure of a solution is less than that of a pure solvent at each temperature, that which we know already, because the solution which contains a non-volatile solute. So the vapor pressure of a solution is always less compared to the vapor pressure of a pure solvent. Means that the vapor pressure of a solution will become equal to that of a pure solvent at the higher temperature, so that it may start boiling. So vapor pressure of a solvent is pure solvent is more compared to the vapor pressure of a solution. So whenever the vapor pressure of a solution, if it equals to the vapor pressure of a pure solvent, at that particular temperature, that is at high temperature, the solution may start boiling. This is the reason why boiling point of a solution is higher than that of a pure solvent. So because vapor pressure, if it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then that particular temperature is nothing but a boiling point of any substance, whether it may be a solution or a solvent. So if the vapor pressure of a solution is less compared to the vapor pressure of a solvent, then if vapor pressure of a substance, if it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then that temperature is nothing but a boiling point. So as solution which is having less vapor pressure, so whenever that vapor pressure, if it is equal to if we heat the solution up to a very high temperature, that is vapor pressure, if it equals to the vapor pressure of a solvent, then automatically solvent becomes that it becomes boiling. So that this is the reason why boiling point of a solution is higher than that of a pure solvent. So that which we can observe when we draw a graph or when we plot a graph between the vapor pressure and temperature of a pure solvent and two solutions, that is solution 1 and solution 2 of different concentrations, that which we can, then we can get it three curves when we draw a graph or when we plot a graph between a pure solvent, vapor pressure against temperature, and in the same way two solutions, that is solution 1 and solution 2. For that two also we have to consider vapor pressure against the temperature. Then we can observe total three curves. Out of the three, one is for pure solvent, second one is the solution 1, and the third one is the solution 2. That which we have to see the graph, what is that graph and how can we express that, what is the change of vapor pressure when we increase the temperature, that which we have to see here. See, this is the elevation of boiling point, how much the boiling point it is going to be. A difference, that is nothing but elevation and boiling point. That is solution, how much boiling point which is having more compared to the pure solvent, that which we have to see based on this graph. When we draw a graph against vapor pressure with the temperature, then for a pure solvent, if we observe, we can observe three curves. That is curve 1, which represents for solvent, that is pure solvent, and curve 2 is solution 1, and curve 3 is the solution 2. So when we draw a graph against vapor pressure and the temperature for a pure solvent, a vapor pressure P0, that is for pure solvent, it can generally it can mix the temperature, that is at a temperature of TB, that is boiling temperature for solvent A, when it cuts a point of A with the curve P, that is solvent curve. In the same way, solution 1, which it cuts at a point B, and solution 2, which it cuts at a point C. So then we're using these three curves. When we draw a parallel lines against a temperature with the vapor pressure, this is for a pure solvent, that is TB, and for solution 1 it is T1, and for solution 2 it is T2. So that is the temperatures. Against vapor pressures is for pure solvent it is P0, and for solution 1 it is P1, and for solution 2 it is P2. So when we draw this graph, that is specifically atmospheric pressures, that is for any very dilute solutions. So in general, all the colligative properties which are applicable for a very dilute solutions, generally that which we know already. So for a very dilute solutions, these curves are approximately parallel straight lines, and the triangles A's are similar. So that when we observe these graphs or these curves for a very dilute solutions, whatever the curves which we observe here for solvent 1, solvent, and solution 1 and solution 2, that which we can't observe like a curve, that is in general it's a parallel straight lines which we can observe it. So the triangles, whatever it is there, that is for ADB and AEC, which are generally the triangles are similar. So with that, we can find out it that AE by AD, that is equal to AC by AB. So how can we calculate these values? Means as they are triangles ADB and AEC, these two triangles, then we have to find out the value of triangle is AE by AD equal to AC by AB. So AE by AD equal to AC by AB. That which we can represent it the corresponding values for AE, AD, AC and AB. Then for AE equal to, this is for AE. How can we calculate this AE? A is nothing but P0. E is nothing but P2. So P0 minus P2, which gives rise to AE. The same way AD equal to P0 minus P1. So P0 minus P2 by P0 minus P1 means P0 is the vapor pressure of a pure solvent and P2 is the vapor pressure of a solution 2. P1 is vapor pressure of a solution 1. So vapor pressure for a pure solvent under the solutions, if you check the values, generally vapor pressure of a pure solvent is always greater or more value compared to the corresponding solution. So P0 is always more compared to the vapor pressures of a solution 1 and solution 2. So that it is a P0 minus P2 by P0 minus P1. And that is equal to AC by AB. So that AC is what? Here A is TB and C equal to T2. So AC is T2 minus TB. AC equal to T2 minus TB. In the same way, AB equal to T1 minus TB. Here it is a T1. So T1 minus TB. So that is always vapor pressure of a substance. If it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then that temperature, whatever it is, that temperature is equal to the boiling point value. So that is boiling point. So wherever the vapor pressures of a particular either pure solvent or solution, if it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then that is the boiling point of a particular substance. So the elevation in the boiling point, we can calculate it for a solution 2 and a solution 1 separately. That is equal to T2 minus TB by T1 minus TB. So in that, what are the terms which we have to? TB is nothing but boiling point of a pure solvent. Boiling point of a pure solvent TB. T1 is the boiling point of a solution 1 and T2 is boiling point of solution 2. And in the same way, P0 is vapor pressure of a pure solvent and P1 is vapor pressure of a solution 1 and P2 is vapor pressure of a solution 2. So whatever the equation which we got it from here, from the graph, which we draw against vapor pressure and temperature, that is elevation in boiling point, that must be ratio of elevation and boiling point of two solutions is equal to relative lowering in vapor pressure, that must be equal to. So P0 minus P2 by P0 minus P1, that is for, this is for solution 2 lowering of vapor pressure and this is for solution 1 lowering of vapor pressure, which is equal to elevation in boiling point for solution 2 by elevation in boiling point for solution 1. That is, so P0 minus P2 by P0 minus P1 equal to T2 minus TB by T1 minus TB. P0 is what? P0 is nothing but vapor pressure of a pure solvent and P1 is the vapor pressure of a solution 1. P2 is vapor pressure of a solution 2. In the same way, TB is vapor temperature, boiling point of a pure solvent. T1 is boiling point of a solution 1 and T2 is boiling point of a solution 2. So from that equation, we can simply write in the form of a specific equation, that is delta P2 by delta P1. That is difference in the pressures for P2, that is for solution 2, are simply lowering in the vapor pressure of for a solution 2 by lowering of a vapor pressure of a solution 1, that is P1, delta P1 is equal to elevation in boiling point for a solution 2 by elevation in boiling point for solution 1, that is delta T2 by delta T1. So delta P2 by delta P1 equal to delta T2 by delta T1. This which we can simplify the same thing, which delta P is directly proportional to delta TB. That is the first equation, which we know that P is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure, delta P, and delta TB is nothing but boiling elevation in boiling point. So lowering of vapor pressure of the very dilute solution is directly proportional to elevation in boiling point, that which we can observe based on that equation. That is delta P is directly proportional to delta T. That's simply which we can observe it. So clearly, which we can observe from this equation, that is delta P is directly proportional to delta P. The elevation of boiling point is directly proportional to the lowering in vapor pressure. But according to the Raoult's law, we know that Raoult's law, that is lowering of vapor pressure, is directly proportional to mole fraction of a solute, that for a very dilute solutions, that we know already based on Raoult's law. And for lowering of vapor pressure, if it is a very dilute solutions, that too the very dilute solutions, number of moles of a solute in the denominator part, which we can eliminate it. So from that we can derive an equation, that is lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction of a solute when it is very dilute solutions, or the solute is very, very less compared to the solvent in a dilute solutions. Then lowering of vapor pressure of a solution is directly proportional to mole fraction of the solute, that which we know based on Raoult's law, which we already discussed in the previous videos in elevation in lowering of vapor pressure with respect to Raoult's law, which we explained it. So delta P is directly proportional to small n by capital N. That in that small n is number of moles of a solute by capital N is number of moles of a solvent. That too when it is a very dilute solutions. N is nothing but number of moles of a solute, that which we can represent in terms of how can we calculate the number of moles, means generally weight by molecular mass of a solute. If we want to calculate the number of moles of a solute, and for number of moles of a solvent, which we can calculate it using, that is same weight by molecular weight of a solvent. So that if you consider weight and molecular mass for a solute, if it is small letters, that is small w is weight for a weight of a solute, and small m is molecular mass of a solute, and capital W is weight of a solvent, and capital M is molecular mass of a solvent, then the same lowering of vapor pressure, that is delta P, which we can represent it by substituting n, small n and capital N values with respect to weight by molecular mass. That is delta P is directly proportional to small w by small m. That is nothing but n value, that small n, that is nothing but number of moles of a solute, which we can calculate it using a formula weight by molecular mass. And the capital N is nothing but number of moles of a solvent, that which we can calculate it using weight by molecular weight of a solvent, that is capital letters, which we have to differentiate with solute weight and molecular mass. Or simply, which we can represent it as delta P is directly proportional to capital M small w by small m capital W. In this, capital W is weight of a small w is weight of a solute, and a small m is weight, molecular mass of a solute, and a capital W is weight of a solvent, and capital M is molecular mass of a solvent. So which we can calculate it to the delta P, that is lowering of vapor pressure, using that formula. The same thing which we have to implement it, that is whatever the value for lowering of vapor pressure, that is delta P value, which we got it from the Raoult's law, that which we have to implement, because delta P is directly proportional to delta TP, that is nothing but elevation and boiling point. So we can substitute delta P value in place of delta TB. So we can find out it one more formula for elevation and boiling point. See, for a given solvent is constant, that means a solvent, if it is a particular solvent, when we use it, delta P, therefore delta P, that is lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to small w by small m into capital W. When that solvent is it's a constant for that, then the delta P is directly proportional to small w by small m into capital W. From that equations 1 and 2, for very dilute solutions, we can write it. That is, one is what? Delta P is directly proportional to delta TB. That is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to elevation in boiling point. That is the equation number 1, which we got it from the first equation. And the second equation is elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute. If the solvent is a constant, then that value, which we can represent it as small w by small m into capital W. So that is the second equation. If we combine those two, then we can write it delta TB equal to small w by small m into capital W, or delta TB equal to KB, it's a constant, boiling point constant, that is, into small w by small m into capital W. That once again, which we can write it as, if we want to convert into a 1 liter solution, then we have to multiply with both denominator and that with 1000. So KB by 1000 into small w into 1000 by small m into W, that will convert into a capital KB, small w into 1000 by small m into capital W. So this capital KB is nothing but it's a elevation constant, molar elevation constant, or simply we can call it as a ebullioscopic constant. What is meant by that ebullioscopic constant? So this, how it is related with the elevation at boiling point, that is also more important thing. So the constant KB, small KB, is known as boiling point constant for the particular solvent. When 1 mole of the solute is dissolved in 1000 grams of a solvent, so if one number of moles of a solute is 1, and the weight of the solvent must be 1000 grams, that is 1 kilogram, then that constant, which we can call it as a molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant, that is nothing but capital KB, simply, which we can write. B is for boiling, that is nothing but. So ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant is nothing but when 1 mole of a solute, if it is dissolved in 1 kg or 1000 grams of a solvent, then that value, which we can call it, or that constant, which we can call it as a molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. So thus delta TB, that is nothing but elevation at boiling point, is equal to ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant into molality of the solution. So elevation in boiling point, which is directly related with the molality of a solution, directly proportional to the molality of a solution. Hence, molar elevation constant is defined as the elevation in boiling point when 1 mole of a non-volatile solute is dissolved in 1000 grams of a solvent. So how can we define the elevation, molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant? Generally, when 1 mole of a solute, non-volatile solute, generally, if it is dissolved in 1000 grams of a solvent or 1 kilogram of a solvent, then that boiling point, which is equal to, that is elevation in boiling point, is equal to molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. So if when it is possible, means if molality of a solution is equal to 1, then delta TB equal to KB. Delta TB is elevation in boiling point. KB is ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant. When molality of a solution will be equal to 1, when 1 mole of a solution of a solute, non-volatile solute, if it is dissolved in 1000 grams of a solvent, then that value, molality of a solution, which is equal to 1. So then delta TB, that is nothing but elevation in boiling point value, is equal to molar elevation point or constant or ebullioscopic constant. So that is ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant is nothing but it's a elevation in boiling point value only when molality of a solution is equal to 1, or simply when 1 mole of a solute, non-volatile solute, if it is dissolved in 1000 grams of a solvent, then that elevation in boiling point value is equal to the molar elevation constant or simply ebullioscopic constant. So that which we can define using this formula, that is elevation and boiling point, using delta TB, that is elevation and boiling point, equal to Kb into molality of a solution. Kb is nothing but ebullioscopic constant or elevation in molar elevation point constant or molar elevation constant. How can we calculate? As we know that elevation and boiling point, once again, it is a colligative property because it depends on the number of molecules or number of particles of a solute, but not on the composition or nature of the solute, which it has to be present in a dilute solutions, so that it is a colligative property. So using, as it is a colligative property, the main application or the main purpose of a colligative properties is we can easily estimate the molecular mass of a solute using any of the colligative property. So using like how we discussed with relative lowering of vapor pressure, how can we calculate or how can we determine the molecular mass of a solute? In the same way, using osmotic pressure, how can we determine the molecular mass? Once again, elevation and boiling point, which is also one type of a colligative property. So which is also used for the determination of molecular mass of a solute. So how can we determine the molecular mass of a solute using elevation and boiling point, that which we have to see now. See, determination of molecular mass of a solute from delta TB, that is elevation in boiling point. So let the weight of the solute is small w grams. Weight of the solvent is capital W grams. Molecular mass of the solute is small m, and the molarity of the solution. So how can we calculate the molarity of the solution? Molality of a solution. So number of moles of solute by weight of the solvent in grams. So that is small w by small m into 1000 by W. That is, this is weight of the capital W, and that is nothing but weight of a solvent. Substituting the value of molality in equation number 3. So if you substitute this molality value in this equation, then which we can get it, delta TB equal to Kb into small w into 1000 by small m into capital W. Simply we have to substitute the values. Instead of molality, we have to substitute it with number of moles of a solute with by weight of the solvent in grams, that which we have to express it in terms of molarity. So delta TB is equal to Kb into small w into 1000 by small m into capital W. So from that equation, we can calculate the delta TB value. So molecular mass of a solute, that is nothing but m, which we can calculate it using a equation. Simply we have to change that equation, that is 1000 Kb small w by delta TB into capital W. So using this formula, we can easily calculate the molecular mass of a solute. So which we know that we using a colligative property, we can easily identify or we can easily determine the molecular mass for any dilute solution. This expression is used for calculating the molecular mass of the solute. The molar elevation constant Kb can be calculated from the thermodynamic relation. There is a small relation which we can use it for the calculation of Kb value. This is a constant for each and every solution, so that once we know the Kb value, weight of the solute and weight of the solvent, delta TB value, then we can easily find out the molecular mass of a solute. So for that, we have to know the Kb value, that is molar elevation constant value, that which we can calculate it using a thermodynamic relation, that is Kb equal to RTB square by 1000 LV, or Kb equal to 0.002 TB square by LV. So what is meant by LV? That is nothing but latent heat of vaporization in calories per gram of a solvent. TB is nothing but boiling point of a solvent, and then for particular solvent we have to calculate it, that the Kb value. Once we know the we can calculate the Kb value using any one of the formula, that is RTB square by 1000 LV or 0.002 TB square by LV. We can use any one of the equation and then we can find out it the Kb value. Once we know the Kb value, we can easily find out it the small m, that is molecular mass of a solute, using the formula 1000 kb small w by delta TB into capital W. So where TB is the boiling point of the solvent on the absolute scale. So that we have to take it that in Kelvin units only we have to calculate this TB value. And the LV is the latent heat of vaporization in calories per gram of solvent. What is meant by latent heat of vaporization? That is, latent heat of vaporization is the heat required to change 1 mole of liquid at its boiling point under standard atmospheric pressure. So that's a heat, latent heat of vaporization is the heat, how much it is required to change 1 mole of a liquid as its boiling point. So it has to be converted into a vapor when it turns into its boiling point. That is standard atmospheric pressure. We have to maintain the pressure constant at that particular temperature. How much heat which is required to change the liquid into its boiling point is nothing but heat of a latent heat of vaporization. That which value we have to use it for the calculation of Kb value. Using this formula, that is Kb equal to RTB square by 1000 LV, we can easily find out it the Kb value. Once we know the Kb value and TB value already we know, small w, that is weight of a solute, which we have to know, which we know already, and capital W, that is weight of the solvent, also we know. So once we know the values of all from this equation, we can easily find out the molecular mass of the substance. See, the molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant can also be calculated by using the relation. This is one more relation which we can use it for the calculation of molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. There are different equations which are available for the calculation of ebullioscopic constant. We can use it latent heat of vaporization, or simply we can calculate it using the universal gas constant along with the TB value. And we can also calculate it using enthalpy of vaporization. This is the relation which gives the for the calculation of ebullioscopic constant in terms of enthalpy of vaporization, that is Kb equal to RTB square into M by delta HV into 1000. So Kb in this R is universal gas constant and TB is the boiling point of a pure solvent, and then M is molarity, molecular mass of the solvent. That is M is capital M is molecular mass of the solvent, and delta HV is nothing but enthalpy of vaporization into 1000. So what is meant by enthalpy of vaporization? How can we calculate? That is, it's nothing but amount of energy that must be added to a liquid substance to transform a quantity of that substance into a gas. So how much of energy which is required, which has to be added to any liquid substance, that has to be transferred into a gas. So that much of heat energy, which is nothing but enthalpy of vaporization. So a liquid which has to be converted as a gas, when we supply some energy, that energy is nothing but enthalpy of vaporization. So if you know that delta HV value, then also we can use it. We can calculate the ebullioscopic constant by using this formula. That is one more equation which we know for the calculation of Kb value. Once we know the Kb value, we can easily find out the molecular mass of a solute using the formula which we discussed previously already. So once again, in starting of this video, I already told you boiling point, elevation in boiling point, it's a colligative property. How can we say that it is a colligative property? That which we have to give the we have to explain it. So boiling point elevation or elevation in boiling point, it's a colligative property, that which we have to prove it now. We know that delta TB, that is elevation in boiling point, is directly proportional to N by small n by capital N, because delta TB, that is nothing but elevation in boiling point value, is directly proportional to the lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to mole fraction of a solute. So that is nothing but for a very dilute solutions, that value is nothing but small n by capital N. So as delta P is directly proportional to delta TB, so delta P is directly proportional to small n by capital N. So automatically delta TB is directly proportional to small n by capital N. From that, simply which we can observe clearly, from this relation, it is clear that elevation in boiling point of a dilute solution is directly proportional to the number of moles of the solute dissolved in a given amount of the solvent. So from this equation, that is delta TB is directly proportional to small n by capital N. From this equation, we can say that it is dilute solution boiling point value, that is elevation in boiling point of a dairy dilute solution, which is directly proportional to the number of moles of a solute which is dissolved in the given amount of the solvent. So it is independent of the nature of the solvent, where it is dissolved and what is the quantity or what is the volume of the solvent, which is irrespective of a nature of a solvent or a quantity of a solvent. Generally, elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to the number of moles of a solute particles only, number of moles of a solute only, but not on the nature of a solvent. It is therefore concluded that equimolar amounts of a different solutes, when dissolved in the same amount of a solvent. So if equimolar amounts of a different solutes, if they dissolved in same amount of a solvent, will produce the same elevation in boiling point. That which we can say that based on elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to, which is proportional to the number of moles of a solute particles, which is not depends on the nature of the solvent or quantity of a solvent. So that whatever the different types of solutes, if they are equimolar amounts of a different solutes, if they dissolved in same amount of a solvent, then the number, same elevation and boiling point that each and every solution will generate, that elevation and boiling point must be same for all the solutions. If it consists of a equimolar amounts of a solutes with the same amount of a solvent, then the elevation and boiling point value for all the solutions must be equal. So for that, for example, if you take 6 grams of urea, 18 grams of a glucose, and 32.4 grams of a sucrose, all have different molecular weights. Urea, which is having a molecular weight of 60, glucose, which is having the molecular weight of 180, and sucrose, which is molecular weight of 340. When if we dissolve the same amount of water, that means solvent must be the same quantity. All the solutions with water with urea, glucose with water, sucrose with water. So all the three different solutions, they can rise the boiling point to the same extent. So the elevation in boiling point for all the three solutions must be same if they dissolved in the same amount of solvent with equimolar. That means molarity of that particular solvent solutes is same. Then the solvent, how much we are going to take is same. Then the elevation in boiling point, which is created by that solution, is also same. That indirectly, which we can say that elevation in boiling point is a colligative property which depends only on number of moles of a solute particles, but not on nature or composition of a solvent or nature of a solute. It depends only on the number of particles, that which we can say that it is a colligative property like other colligative properties, osmotic pressure and lowering of vapor pressure. And this is third colligative property, that is elevation in boiling point. What is that elevation in boiling point and how can we use that for the calculation or for the determination of molecular mass, which we discussed in this video. The next video, we will continue for the law of one more colligative property in the next video. Thank you.